It's January 11th here. Next to January 10th, right?
Yeah, it is.
We are recording. Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. This is the meeting of the Park Committee on Wednesday, January 10th, 2018 at 4 p.m. Present are Alderman John Vanderleest, Alderman Chris Weary, and myself, Alderman David Hennig. We'll note that Alderman Mickelson is excused. He may be here shortly, but for the time being, we'll note that he's excused. So first thing is approval of the minutes of our meeting of December 13th, 2017. It's a motion by Alderman Weary, seconded by Alderman Vanderleest to approve the minutes. Is there any discussion? If not, minutes are approved. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes are approved. Adoption of the agenda, are there any additions or corrections?
Chairman, if I may, Rick was gonna, our purchase manager was gonna do item number 1.
Okay.
I don't know if you wanna just see if he'll come and say it for the end, otherwise, we'll just do it at the end if he doesn't show up.
Yeah, okay. Why don't we delay the report of the purchasing manager until Rick shows up and start with number 2.
Sounds good.
Anything else?
And also number 2,
Okay.
we talked with Mr. Weary today, and we're going to hold that until the next Park Committee meeting because the representative from the neighborhood couldn't be here today.
Okay. Well, let's take a motion then on number 2 to hold that until our next meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Weary, seconded by Alderman Vanderleest. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 3 then is consideration with possible action on revisions to the shared services agreement between the City of Green Bay Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department and Green Bay Public School District. We did receive a draft here. James, I think you've been doing your work on this, so you can read on it, right, along with other staff.
Yes, we have a lot of staff involved in this, both from our staff and from the school district. So it's been about 4 to 5 months of weekly meetings, trying to look at every part of this agreement to make sure we're hopefully good for the next couple of decades, talking through our shared agreement here. But I can start by just pointing out kind of a little bit of history,
Sure.
some points of emphasis, and then also any questions you guys may have.
Especially if there are any changes, just pointing out. So we're
Definitely. So a little bit of just brief history. Since the time the City of Green Bay Parks, Rec, and Forestry and the Green Bay Public School Districts at one entity back in, Keith tells me, the 60s. But when the schools split, we've been committed to working with the GB School District to share facilities and provide the best available amenities and services to the residents of Green Bay. So we've had a shared use agreement since then. In the early 90s, when the Green Bay Public Schools adopted baseball and softball, we took a much more significant role as the Parks Department, and we had to have an updated agreement needed to address those concerns. Now, our current shared services agreement with the Green Bay Area Public Schools has lapsed. So that was originally signed in November 22nd of 2003. It actually expired on June 30th of 2015. So we've been actually operating under a verbal commitment since then. Over the past couple of years, there hasn't been a real clear vision about how to best address some of these issues with the growing demands of each organization. So we really, like I said, we took a really strong look, and staff was really committed over the last 5 or 6 months to meeting weekly with the Green Bay School District and addressing all these and updating this agreement in order to continue to foster that positive relationship between our organizations and also provide residents with the most appropriate facilities available. So a couple points of emphasis I'll go over here is each organization under this new agreement has defined one liaison for each organization for clear communication to address concerns and to facilitate the agreement goals. Before we kind of had where who was really talking to who about what concerns, and then with such 2 big organizations, some wires got crossed. Communication wasn't necessarily clear. Now we have one liaison from each, so communication should be clear on that. This contract overall addresses priority usage, maintenance, scheduling, outlines who owns and maintains and who is responsible for capital improvements of respective facilities. It covers insurance and liability, program expansion, concessions, a lot of different areas. So that's why, as you saw in the attachments, that's why there's 4 different attachments to this agreement. Third-party usage is no longer included in this agreement. So for example, swim teams, renting the pool through our department for the Green Bay pools, that's no longer in this agreement. Third-party usage will be addressed in a future agreement. We'll bring that agreement back to Parks Committee for approval when we finish that up. In this agreement, we no longer have to pay the Green Bay School District $40,000 per year. So that is no longer part of this agreement. The good part about this is that both parties are in agreement with what we have outlined for you guys. This agreement will run on an annual basis, and we will revisit it each year to know if we have to modify or change or tweak something. So each year we'll revisit this agreement. Also, in the scheduling, we have about 5 meetings throughout the year that kind of are mandatory meetings, just to kind of make us, throughout the year, make sure we're on the same page and address any scheduling or concerns we may have. We believe it's necessary for the schools and the city to share facilities due to the needs and facility requests that we have currently and the demand. So we have multiple uses for our existing facilities to provide access and recreation for residents of all ages. And we really agree with the proposed changes and any updates, and we look forward to approving this agreement.
Okay. Just one question, were there security concerns that had to be addressed with the security of the school district being tighter now than it was years ago?
If you'd like, we do have the school district here where they can come up and answer your questions.
Sure. Let's make a motion to suspend the rules to hear from interested parties. Second. Alderman Vanderlee, seconded by Alderman Weary. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, come on forward. Either one or both of you.
Hi, thank you. I'm Melissa Thiel-Collar, I'm the district's legal counsel, and this is Tim Flood, who oversees our activities and athletics for the school district. Thank you for having us, and thanks to James and Dan for all their work, and I know there's a few others here in the audience too that it's been a long time coming, but I think we're in a good spot in getting this done. With respect to security concerns, I think we've had a really good relationship with the city with respect to any concerns that may come up when the city is using our property or we're using the city's property. We did have some discussions about, because some of the city's parks are the school district's playgrounds for recess and that sort of thing. We had talked about that and how that would look going forward. To the most part, there really hasn't been too many safety or security concerns during the school day when kids are using those parks and playgrounds. And if there have been concerns, we've been able to address that with the city. There was an incident, I think last week, at one of the adult rec basketball programs, and James and our facilities director worked through that, and it hasn't been an issue, so.
I'd say each group has an on-site coordinator, so
Yeah.
there's a supervisor, whether it's district using park, there's a person there, or park using district, there's a person from them. So we have a nice supervisor area that we're good to go.
Okay. Well, I remember back when the school district was reorganized from being a city school district to being a unified school district. I think it was in the early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember exactly when, but the process of looking at all the properties, especially where there are shared properties like you're talking about, playgrounds, I think that took near a year to make the original agreement. So I give everybody a lot of credit for getting to this point. Are there any questions by committee members? Alderman Vanderlee.
I just wanted to ask you one question, it's kind of related. As far as the voting that used to take place at some of the schools now, the school district opted out of any of this type of, in other words, they don't have the voting at any of the schools anymore. Is that mainly a security reason?
I can answer that. Actually, we didn't opt out of the polling locations. The city had decided that they didn't want to use the district polling locations. We had some discussion with the city in some of our locations where there were the entry and the egress of the polling location was a little bit difficult in whether you could separate the polling location from the kids. In some of our facilities, it was a little bit difficult, but we did not ask the city not to have polling locations in our schools. We had worked towards some solutions on that. Some citizens had raised concerns about people who were perhaps had some criminal backgrounds that were coming onto school property. But we had worked through that. We had provided our staff to be security during the school day at our expense on those polling locations. So I think we had worked out a solution on that with respect to those polling locations.
That's the only question. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, other questions, committee members, or any of the aldermen and all the persons in the
No,
audience?
I would just say I'm very much in support of this. I think it's good that we can share the facilities back between the two.
Okay, well, thank you for all the work that has been done here. I think it's nice to get it to this point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agreement as proposed.
So moved. Just one other quick thing, if I may, there was some confusion too, I just want to point out with our old contract that we previously just had, is that, police liaisons and also crossing guards were kind of tied into that a little bit. And this really clearly separates that, so it really focuses on just our shared use facility agreement. I want to make sure that's clear. And then I also want to make sure I do thank the school district and our city staff that we had. We did put a lot of time and effort into this and updating it, so really thanks everybody for their efforts.
Who are the single point contacts for the two entities?
Right now it'll be Tim Flood, who we just heard from, and myself.
Okay, well, very good. I think it'll work out very well. Do we have a motion to approve?
Already did.
Nicholson,
I'll second it.
seconded by Alderman
Question.
Leary. Okay, discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. James, very well done. It's very thorough compared to in the past. It's been kind of a hodgepodge, fighting over a dollar amount. Did we gain any major access or lose any? Has anything changed there?
I think
As to facilities, there's a list of them, but I don't know what it was previous, so did that change?
I think with the growing demands from both the schools and, their activities and their, with our facilities and our growing demands for theirs, we did work out most of those situations into something that we're both comfortable with. And also we committed to having this relationship and that open dialect because we know over the next year or two, we're going to continue to grow. And we know that. We've already addressed that. We've actually had meetings with Tim and their scheduling coordinators to talk about what our growing demands are in conjunction with our bigger vision moving forward. So yes, we have addressed those and we're going to continue to address those.
So would you say the facilities that are available going forward there's more availability than there was in the past because of this?
I would say there will be more access for us in the future, yes.
I mean, for both, yeah.
For both.
Okay, any other questions or discussion? Okay, then we'll take a vote on the motion to approve the agreement as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on to number 4.
Yep.
Consideration with possible action on the revisions to the City of Green Bay Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department's facility use agreement with regards to the priority usage and reservation section. So tell us what this is all about.
So yes, so part of what we just approved with the Green Bay School District is in that agreement, the priority usage of our user groups kind of got reshuffled just slightly. So we used to have our programs, of course, our municipal park and rec programs were our priority, and then the Green Bay School District programs were second priority after that. So we would really tailor our towards them in that means. Now, with this new agreement, their priority list, we are fourth on their priority list, and so really that agreement that we just approved, they are also fourth on our priority list. So we also have to, this is our facility use policy for our department. It involves our user groups that we host at our parks facilities. So this is something that was approved back in 2009. It addresses our philosophy, priority usage requirements, and definition of our sanctioned groups, maintenance, concessions, financials, banners, liability, and other specifics pertaining to users of our facilities. This does not include special events and neighborhood associations. This is mostly just athletic users of our athletic facilities. So what this, on this priority usage, you'll see you have two of them. One is the current policy. It lists Green Bay Public Schools number 2. Now they'll actually be number 4 on our priority use. And that is that's because we just, in our other agreement we just approved, that's what it shows and reflects on there. So this would just be approving in our own department policy to move them to number 4, and then also on that next page, there's just a few dates that changed because of scheduling. And there's 3 dates. It's the March 1st, February 15th dates on that page. So it's just a few minor changes.
Okay, any questions?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Vanderleest to approve. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we don't have the book yet.
So I can review that.
Okay, I think what we received indicated that bids were due 2 days ago, right?
Mhm.
And you got that?
Yes, so we did get two competing bids here. One from Gray Bar, and that bid was for $9,198.78. And then we also got Viking Electric for $15,250. Now, back in 2015, the city bonded $40,000 to replace the electrical panel at Edison Ball Field. The quotes we just received was only the cost to purchase the electric panel materials. So there will be additional costs associated with this project, such as having WPS run a new electric service, and we will likely have to hire an electrician to install the panel. We do anticipate spending the full $40,000 on this project by the time it's completed, but I guess our motion would be, or Rick can also say the same thing I said, but we,
apparently there were 2 bids, and James just informed us, and one of them was substantially better than the others, so.
Yeah, and I apologize, I had the paperwork down. I was in a meeting on 6 and thinking we started at 4:30, so I apologize for being late. 2 bids, the low bid ended up being just under $10,000. The next one was $15,000, and so recommended the award to the low bidder, which is Gray Bar Electric. And again, I'll bring back the actual copy of the quote summary, so you have it before the meeting is over.
Pass that around if anyone wants to take a look at it.
Oh, I guess you do have it? Yeah,
Looks good.
I have copies made for you.
Are there any questions or concerns? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the recommendation to award the work to the lowest bidder.
So, second.
Okay, moved by Alderman Vanderleest, seconded by Alderman Greeley. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
I
carries.
apologize, I'll be right back.
Thanks, Rick. Happy to take care of you right away. Director's report number 5.
so yes, we have a few projects that are actually be going out to bid. I believe Dan told me today, Bay Beach concession stand, is that today going out?
It's being advertised today. It'll be available to contractors next week.
The other exciting thing coming up here is Colburn Pool. We'll be going out to bid towards the end of January, probably around the 25th or 26th of January, with bid opening scheduled for February 13th. So then we'll review the bids on our park committee February 14th for Colburn Pool. Unfortunately, update on our ice hockey rinks that we spent a couple weeks getting ready. We currently are not open for operation due to the weather. Hopefully next week, if we looks like it's going to get cold again, hopefully we can get them back up and running as soon as possible. Also, Triangle Hill, the tubing hill was trying to hang on today. They were trying to open. I haven't heard back that they didn't, but more than likely they won't be open tomorrow. And then, unfortunately, unless there's snow, be out indefinitely until we get snow, and then we'll open it back up as soon as we can.
Borrow the Packers snow machine.
We will call the Packers and see if they'll help us with that. Yeah.
Good connections, right?
Our second annual Frenzy in the Fox, though, on Friday night at 7 p.m. So Friday, January 12th at 7 p.m. will be happening down here on City Deck along the Fox River Trail. It's a walk, run, bike event that actually you can go from any distance you want. So you can go a kilometer or you can go 10 kilometers. We'll have a couple locations along the Fox River Trail with refreshments, and they actually have some burning barrels out there on the Fox River Trail and then people can turn around, come back, and then afterwards they have kind of a get-together on City Deck by Broken Spoke. So that's something that we're looking forward to. We already got about 150 people signed up, so that event will happen on Friday night. The Wildlife Sanctuary Volunteer Dinner happened on this last Monday, January 8th. So they had an Hawaiian theme, and so they were hula-ing and having a good time out there, and they're recognizing the volunteers throughout the year. We have a lot of volunteers for both the animal care and at the Wildlife Sanctuary in general. So they recognize the volunteers with the dinner that night, and that went really well. Then the last thing is, as you kind of know, our department has one of our big goals is, of course, our Park and Rec's role in health and wellness, and we've been really working with Fit in the Parks and Parks RX over the last couple of years. Got honored of, last month we told you we got selected to present some of these and some awards. So at this time, I know some of you might have already seen this, but it's about a 3-minute video, and we would like to show that at this time.
Okay, let's do it.
You might recognize one of the guys on here. I don't know.
Really good actor here.
I'm passionate, of course, about park and recreation and what it brings to the community, the impact, the quality of life. So we came together as a collaborative effort between Green Bay Parks and Rec Department, the Wisconsin Beverage Association, Prevea Healthcare System, and also Live 5428 to really strategize how the relevancy of healthcare could come together to really combat some of those health concerns that are progressive within Green Bay right now.
We have always really valued kind of the magic that happens when you bring together divergent interests on a convergent goal. So we think that kind of intersection of those public-private partnerships and really kind of leveraging or acknowledging everyone's different and unique strengths is what gets us to a good solution for our community and for our health.
We just really took a look at what our role in public health and fitness and health and wellness was as a city, and we found let's get people back into the parks. So we started Fit in the Parks, which involves about 14 or 15 different fitness classes throughout the park system, and we created a program called Parks RX, encouraging families to utilize the parks and amenities that we have in the Green Bay Park system to really get out and get active and stay healthy and really create that healthy lifestyle mindset.
Our pediatrician, Dr. Wetmore with Prevea Health, recommended the Parks RX program for my kids, and we decided, that it was the best program out there for us to exercise and strive for healthier goals. As a mom, it is important to find ways for my family to find balance on what we eat, drink, and do to maintain a healthy lifestyle for my family, not only for the kids, but for us as adults as well. Since we started the Parks RX program, we're eating healthier, we're doing more exercise as a family together, versus in the past we haven't done that. When we do go shopping, we look for the low-cal drinks. I think it's great that there is alternatives out there for low-cal drinks that have the low sugar. It's great for adults and for kids as well. We needed that motivation to get us going as a family to eat healthier and exercise more. And I believe that program really helped us achieve our goals as a family. I think something that is unique about the way that we approach the idea of health and well-being is that what we do is really try and make it a cultural norm for people to fuel their bodies in a way that makes sense for them and for them to be active in their everyday life. And so people balancing what they eat, drink, and do really fits in well. And our job is to create an environment around them that supports them in making those good healthy choices.
We took the partnerships that we currently had and we got them to buy into this mission of creating this healthier Green Bay and getting people back outside, back into the parks, and getting together in those environments.
It's great to know that these programs are out there for people, that if you need help, they're out there for people to join in and to have fun doing it. It's changed our lives, and I believe it will change other families' lives as well. At the end of the day, our goal is to spread the message that we want people to live a healthy lifestyle. We want to create the conditions in the program and the environments that support them in doing that.
So with that, I'd like to thank the Wisconsin Beverage Association. They were the ones that made that possible and paid for that video, and also our partners. It's just another testament to, private-public partnerships, and also people with the same organizations with the same mission, how they can come together to really impact our community.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Pretty sure you're a leading candidate for an Oscar.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm on the running. I don't know.
We'll nominate you. Well, good job. I think it portrays our park department as well as the city in a very positive light. And that's a good thing all the way around, so.
One quick question.
Yes, John.
I was going to ask James on the, as far as the participation with the county on how they plowed the trail when we had that first big storm. What is your conclusion on how the county's doing?
As of right now, I've never heard one concern or had to address anything with that. As far as I know, it's been going really well.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, we have, and they're also involved in the Frenzy and the Fox. One of the reasons why, one of the ideas last year of coming up with that is when we found out the Fox River Trail was going to be plowed, we kind of joined together. So actually, Brown County actually is helping us with that event. They're actually taking the Fox River Trail portion of that, and they kind of coordinate that portion of the event.
Okay. That's good feedback for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions on the director's report? If not, I'll entertain a motion to receive and place on file the report.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Weary, second by Alderman Vanderleest. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, a motion by Alderman Weary, second by Alderman Vanderleest to adjourn the meeting of the Park Committee. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned.
Thank you.
Yeah. Horse.
Frog or something.
Yeah.